How's it going, everybody? It's Trippy Cakes here, and I got a Tier 3 Wolverine review. Now, before you ask, yes, that is Daniel Radcliffe. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell for the notifications, so that way you'll be updated whenever I drop a new video. And if you have been here a while, make sure you're sharing with your friends, because the Star Agent program just opened back up, or it's going to be opening back up at the end of the month, and that's, stuff I can give away to you guys as the viewer. So it's a win-win for everybody. That being said, let's jump into this. Everybody knows that Tier 3 Wolverine is kind of a pain to get to due to his potential rate, since he is a native Tier 2. So that was a pain. I did manage to get it, even though I did have a week-long break because I had device issues with my graphics card on my phone and had to replace that. These are my stats on him. They've gone up just a little bit since I actually took this screenshot. And he is rocking the Hawk's Eye, almost fully awakened. I should probably fix that last one, but I'm not worried about that right now. Right now, he does have CTP of Rage, and I did have that on for Alliance Battle Extreme purposes. I wanted to see how he held up against Tier 3 Reed Richards and see if maybe Wolverine is a better character to use than Reed. I'm going to get into that a little bit later because there's some kind of breakdown that I want to go through so you make sure you're getting the right information. So the first thing I did with this video is take him into PvP. It's good to see him back in his own, I guess his groove, because when he first came out, he was a very reliable character for timeline battle, and as time went on, he just wasn't really used. He was almost forgotten. Now with Wolverine, there's two things I want to point out in PvP and in a general. His fourth and third skill with his uniform have been changed. The fourth skill is okay, but it leaves him open, so on Alliance Battle Day, that can be a problem. I will get into that later. But his third skill, the problem with that is when you're rocking CTP of Rage, your dodge rate increases a pretty good amount. So if you do happen to dodge, while you're using the third skill, it does not count or qualify to be something like a counter attack. He can't counter if he dodges. So that's DPS that you're going to lose out on. Although dodging in most PvP cases is a good thing, it's just, it kind of sucks to have Rage on and do that. So that's something to keep in mind whenever you're playing around with Wolverine. Now see, it landed there because I didn't dodge, but if I had that on somebody else, that would have been a problem. Next, I took him in to fight Odin. I don't know if people are still having trouble with him. I think they are. I haven't heard anybody asking how to beat him lately, so I think he's becoming less of a problem. But it's always good to go back and beat him up again, teach him a lesson for all the hard times that he gave us when he first came out in these missions. So I didn't autoplay through this because Wolverine was going to, he always uses his Tier 3 skill, and that's just anybody that you use before, if you go through this on autoplay, he's going to use it. So I guess getting into his Tier 3 skill, I really enjoy it. I think it's one of the better looking Tier 3 skills, and it does a massive amount of damage, especially if you have something like Rage. Like, I don't even get through the entire Tier 3 animation before this kills him, and that's really, really great. If a match happens to go on long enough to use a Tier 3 skill, it's guaranteed that this is going to be one of those ones that's going to kill everybody. Now, I just, came in here to play it back again so we could see the full thing, because I don't think you get like a good view of this. Now, that second part right here where he does that slash, that's the money maker, especially when Rage procs, or if you have a damage proc and that's what it procs on, is really, really quite amazing. Now, going into Giant Raid Boss, the setup that I have, I know I could have used like Nick Fury and somebody else, but I decided to go with Crescent lead with Valkyrie support, or She-Hulk lead with Valkyrie support, and that's just to kind of keep like a minimum buff team, I guess, because I wanted to leave this on as even grounds as I could with Reed. That my whole thing was Reed is such a great Tier 3 character for combat that he's what I want to, test the waters with. Now in this, I'm going up against a Tier 3 Deadpool, and he does have the uniform. I checked him out after the match, and he's an okay Deadpool, not bad at all. So I went into this, and Wolverine's got really great survivability. And again, Rage is really, really great on some characters, and I think Wolverine is one of them. Now, the question is, is he going to be the best option for everything? Like, if you can only Tier 3 one combat character, who's it going to be? Well, I can tell you off the bat, at this point, Captain is now a little bit obsolete in the sense of if you're looking for the absolute best. He's still viable to do both PvP and PvE, but you kind of have to choose one of them now, since his damage does seem to have been nerfed substantially, and maybe that's because endgame is coming up and he might get a uniform. Who knows? Now, Wolverine, he's kind of like a pick and choose as well. He's still gonna have good damage if you go PvP, but if you're going like a CTP of energy or something like that, his survivability is gonna drop if he doesn't have invincibility on him. I did try with the HP max and invincibility obelisk, and that worked wonders in PvP as well as regeneration. And the crazy thing about regeneration is it seems to have this the shield. It's very touchy on who you're using it for. You usually want to have somebody with a lot of HP. I don't have a full HP build on my cards, but it still managed to work out because one, his recovery is so high, and his recovery is better than most people. So once that shield procs and you get the block off of that, you can have enough time to recover back, and your recovery will keep you up until the shield is ready again. So that's a very touchy CTP to work with, but it does work very well on Wolverine. So if I was going to go ahead and give him a ranking, I would definitely put him in the S rank, I guess. He's top tier, but if you're really, really looking for somebody who's going to be your all-around go-to guy, PvP, PvE, all that good stuff, I'm still going to have to give it to Reed at this point. And this just because Reed pushes out a really amazing amount of damage, like one of the highest in game. Nobody will tell you this, but I will tell you this. He pushes out one of the highest in game, and he's doing this without a uniform. He's got the best setup for defensive and offensive. He's got better team ups for combat day. And that's just in a PvE. And as far as PvP goes, if you want, Reed to succeed in PvP in comparison to Wolverine, then you're going to need a destruction on him. But it is a lot easier to build Wolverine for PvP than Reed. So overall, I say Wolverine is definitely worth getting if you don't have Reed already. Because if you have Reed, then you can kind of hold off on Wolverine and focus on something else you need. But if not, Wolverine is going to be your best option. They're both about the same price, but Wolverine's going to outdo Cap and everybody else. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll check y'all later.